Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Please don't call me Sir. The name is fine.
All right, thank you so much for that. Actually, I noticed your name Divyam, and then I thought I had seen this name somewhere. So now I got it when I saw you. Because you are all over the YouTube, I must say.
Yeah, a lot of people are very happy with sharing their journey. I'm happy about that.
Hmm. Yes, yes. So I'm also very grateful that I got to meet you today. So yes, looking
Mhm.
forward to the session with lots of
Likewise, I'm
hope.
also excited.
Great, great.
Awesome. So I was saying, likewise, I'm also really excited to have a session with you, learn new things, as long as both of us can share stories and share our experiences, I think we'll be fine.
Yes, yes, definitely. So shall we start with the introduction?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so my name is Sunita Rawat and I come from a beautiful place in Uttarakhand. And I am mother to two boys, and along with that, I run two YouTube channels. The first one is Sunita's English Adventure, where I post conversational videos, English vlogs, and some I teach through reels as well. And the other channel is dedicated to audio listening. Like people can practice their listening, people can have their listening practice there. So I post videos in RG style podcast there. So these are two channels that I'm working upon, and these are my passions as well. So I'm following my passions through my YouTube channel. And this is one of my greatest desires to be there on YouTube. So I'm totally living it. Along with that, I teach spoken English to beginners and intermediates. So this is something about me. Would you like to share
That's
something
lovely.
about you as well?
That's a great introduction. Uh, I don't have such a decorated introduction, I must say. But my name is Divyam and I'm from Mumbai. I've been taking sessions on Clap and Go for the last 3, 4 years. I was on a sabbatical for a year due to some reasons from my work, but I think I'm back now for a bit and I'm excited to take sessions, guide people through whatever problems they're facing, motivate them to conquer
Mhm.
their fears, and just basically go through this journey not alone, give them some sort of company and support.
Yes, that's really great that, we are lifetime learners, but still we are sharing our journey with other people, our experiences with other people. So that's something out of this world. That's something generous too. Although we are getting paid for that, but still we choose to help people, right? So that's
Mhm.
really amazing. So you've been tutor on Clappingo for such a long time. So could you please share like what kind of struggles do learners face? Like the very common struggle that learners face in speaking English.
Well, one of the most common ones is obviously starting off is very difficult for them because they fear that somebody's going to judge them, somebody's going to call them out that, hey, you're not good enough for it. Why are you wasting your energy learning it? Or they might even say that, basically just being called out, made fun
Mm-hmm.
of. Second thing is obviously some of them are actually worried that my English is not that good that I can grow in my life, whether it's, you know, financially or through their career. It becomes it's actually a little bit sad when I look at it because I know that it seems difficult to learn the language or to become fluent in it. But I also know I've seen so many people just be disciplined and just get it done in like 6 months. And obviously, in 6 months, they've gotten to a level where they can have basic conversations. But once they get to that level, they feel like, oh yeah, this is not that difficult. It may not be that easy in terms of like the timeline, but I think it is doable.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people who can't maintain eye contact. They have social anxieties along with their fears of English. That is an added bonus for them. Two fears in one, and
Right.
there's so many of them, honestly. If I
Hmm.
get to this, I honestly spend 20 minutes just explaining that. But these are the major ones, I would say.
Right, right. And people come with problems only. So that is why they are on the platform so that they could get any help. But do you think our just words can help them? Like we are just telling them, be confident, don't be fearful of people's judgment or negative criticism and all that. But by just saying that, would they be able to be confident, or what are the factors that can really help them?
I think everybody has this. motivational boost when they look at a motivational video where we see
Mm-hmm.
someone doing something, achieving something. So Clappingo is not just about motivational boost. Along with the motivation, you're given a couple of other things as a learner. One thing is you're given corrections. You're given the safe space to keep practicing. That is important. And when you give them exercises, when you give them ways to identify their problems, solve them, work on them, and improve themselves over time, I think that is something that acts as a catalyst with the motivation itself. It's not just baseless motivation that everything's going to be fine. We tell
Mm-hmm.
you we tell you it's going to be fine, and we tell you how to get there. That is more important. That's where
Right.
we've noticed that even on YouTube videos, people put them up because learners and speakers have created this bond that they trust their journey of getting to a certain target or getting to a certain level of English.
So true. It feels so great when you have someone to walk you through that journey. You feel pretty confident because you have your support, right? So, yes,
Yeah.
that was spot on by you. And yes, definitely only words will not help you. But when you get correct guidance, a correct roadmap for your English learning journey, then you'll feel confident from the very first day that yes, you are going to get there, right? Okay,
Yeah.
very nice, very nice. Okay, so you're from Mumbai, and Mumbai
Yes.
is called City of Dreams, right?
Yep.
So, were you always there? You were born and brought up there, or you also went for some of your dreams?
Excuse me. So sorry.
Sure.
So my grandfather was from Rajasthan. So I am Marwadi, and he moved to Mumbai along with some of his cousins, his brothers, I would say, because they wanted to start dealing in gold jewelry, basically, right? And they got here. I think my grandfather has done a really good job on giving us the basics, at least the basic living standard,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I was born and raised in Mumbai, and in I think when I was 23, 24, I was working with my dad for 6 years in the jewelry business, and I just felt like that is not something that it doesn't feel like I'm serving my purpose over there, because it was more to do with retail, like talking to clients, convincing them whether a certain design would be better than the other, custom orders, handling the staff, handling the inventory, all of that stuff. Although I was settled, pretty settled, I just felt like it feels very stagnant. It doesn't feel like me, I don't feel I'm comfortable here, but I don't feel like I'm pushing myself to do anything, you know. Um, I tried to talk to my dad about the fact that, hey, can we do something new in the business itself? But he is a little old school and he decided that no, what we're doing is completely fine. So this is okay, you know. So I just decided that I'm gonna do my own thing. So I spoke to my parents, I think in a week or two after that, and I told them that I'm moving to Pune. So this is how my story was. Basically, I went to Pune and I got some internship at an IT company where I was handling a little bit of marketing. I was helping them with copyright. Um, and I stayed there for about 7, 8 months. And then that company decided that they're not getting funded, so they will not continue. And then from there, I moved to another hill station close to Pune. I don't know if you will know this, but Lonavala.
Yes, I heard of
And
that.
yeah, okay. So there I was with someone. I helped them grow their business because they were doing something in the swimming pool business. So basically, they were providing swimming pool cleaning chemicals, the nets and the pipes and the pumps, everything. Right. So anything related to they were called the pool doctors of Lonavala, basically. Right. So I was helping them. I was talking to clients. I was maintaining relationships there, and then that went really well. So then they made me the sales head of Goa. So I had to move to Goa then. And then I lived in Goa for about 6 to 7 months, right? And there, due to some personal reason, I couldn't continue, so I had to come back to Mumbai. And I think about 7 or 8 months after that, I think I got engaged.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the only time in my life where I've lived away from my house, from Mumbai
Mm-hmm.
itself. But obviously, it was one of the most amazing 3 years that I've had.
Wow, that was such a long and epic story, I must say. And
It
yes, people can
is,
get inspiration as well. Like you need not to stick to your family business. You can definitely explore yourself in different areas too.
yeah, well, one good thing was that at that time, considering how young I was, I had the clarity that if I don't do something crazy now, I won't be able to do it later once I'm married and settled down. So there's no way I'll be able to do it then. So I think this is the time where I can go and, experiment or
Hmm.
try to create something of my own. And I'm very happy that I did that because I met so many people, I learned so many things. I learned how to live independently, by myself.
Hmm.
And I mean, all those life skills are pretty awesome, honestly.
Yes, all those life skills are actually learned outside our home only, I must say.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think
Yes.
at home everyone, like at least the
Hmm.
moms pamper the kids too much, I would say.
Right, right. They don't want us to do any kind of chores. They simply say, you study and I'll do everything by myself. But when we go out, we have to study and do other things as well, right?
I
Then we become
won't,
a multitasking.
yeah, I won't put out a blanket statement saying moms do this or something. We love them for it, but this is something to do with tough love a little bit. Like, hey, like you have to let your kid do certain things and be uncomfortable so they are comfortable later.
Yes, but I think this generation is so aware. I mean, parents of this generation are very much aware of this fact that we have to make our kids do some work too, right? So my
Yeah.
kids are quite young. Like they are, the elder one is 5 and the younger one is 3. So I make them do certain stuffs like clean the table or wipe it off or simply go get your dress or what I mean, some small task, I tell them to do it by themselves so that they could also learn and I can also, take off some responsibility from my shoulder.
But that's
Right.
good. I mean, helping out in household chores is something that just builds character, builds a sense of responsibility. I think it's really good when parents, use these techniques early on in life to let them know that, hey, this is not, I mean, I'm here to help you. I'm here to, help you survive, grow, nourish,
Mm-hmm.
but you also have to contribute in this whole, journey,
Right.
I would say.
Right. But what do you think? Like when, kids are young, they really enjoy when we give them some work. They feel like it's a game, right? So they definitely do it with lots of enthusiasm. But when they grow up, so, do they tend to do the same work with the same zeal or same excitement, or they'll simply put it off? What do you think? What happens?
Well, it depends on how you've conditioned them, right? Because if you started this early on, it starts off as a game, right? But later they realize why it's important. So I don't think they'll question it if you continue to ask them to do it, or if they
Mm-hmm.
have some tasks or some chores of them for themselves. Like let's say this they start. Let's say they get married, right? So they'll understand why certain things need to be done for the partner, the sense of sacrifice, the sense of responsibility. So you don't have
Mm-hmm.
to teach them that. Whereas if you don't ask them to do anything for the like first 18, 20 years, and then suddenly after 20 years you tell them, okay, sweep the house or wash the vessels, I think it'll feel insulting to them that, hey, why are you telling me to do this?
Right.
I have things to do and stuff. So like it's just about perspective and conditioning, honestly. So I think
Mm.
that's why I said that what you're doing is really good because then you don't have to have this conversation with the kids of why it's important, why it needs to be done, why do you need to contribute to this as an
Mm-hmm.
overall task.
Right, right. That makes a lot of sense to me. When you said that we can't make them work on a sudden day, we have to keep on, like the consistency should be there. So,
Mhm.
consistency is the key in everything, I must say.
Definitely, yeah.
Right. Okay, great, great. Do you have any questions for me?
No, I think the fact that you had so many questions is really nice. I think you had a good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I think I would like to know your YouTube channel's name so that at least I can check it out.
Yes, it's Sunita's English Adventure, and
Nita's English Adventure.
the other one is Dear Listeners by Sunita Rawat.
Is it linked to your first one?
Yes, it is
Okay,
linked.
so I'll just check it out through that then.
Thank you so much, and do subscribe as well.
Definitely, I always do. Whenever someone mentions the YouTube channel, I always check it out. I always subscribe. And if I do have
Okay.
any suggestions, I always either DM them or put it in the comments.
That would be really nice. And one more question that's jumping inside me, I want to ask that. That if teaching English is your main job, or you're doing it as a side hustle?
So earlier, I used to work at Clapping Go. I used to help them with training other tutors, helping them in terms of creating frameworks, trying to understand policies, how we're going to move forward with certain tasks. Like I'm sure you've seen the recorded courses session. We have a
No.
small section. So basically, I was in charge of creating those as well. So I've at least assembled them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Curated some of them, I've assembled some of them. So those are available on the platform. So I've helped with a lot of things in terms of Clappingo. That's how I joined Clappingo. I joined Clappingo in, I think, peak COVID, somewhere in June 2020, I think, if I'm not wrong. And since then, I have been primarily with Clappingo, and my secondary job is taking sessions on the platform.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
mainly associated with Clappingo and you're doing so many
No, I
stuffs there.
quit. I quit now. I quit
Mm-hmm.
Clappingo primarily, but now I'm
Mm-hmm.
just helping in terms of taking sessions.
Okay, so what's your true calling? Like, what job do you enjoy the most?
Um, I think this was fun. This was one of the most fulfilling jobs that I think I had.
Mm-hmm.
I am not looking for a new job right now because I'm nursing an injury, like a spine injury. So I can't really sit in my chair for too long, or I can't really travel to an office
Mm-hmm.
for like an extended day. So for now, I'm just relaxing, figuring out if I want to be in the education space, maybe do something else. I'm not too
Mm-hmm.
sure at the moment, but hopefully it'll come to me.
Okay, that's nice. And I am really impressed by this fact that you are not sure about what you want to do next, right? Because I am actually I can relate with it. I am in the same boat as you because I also don't set long-term goals for myself. I always keep short-term goals because you never know what happens next. So that is my mindset too. So what do you think? What mindset is really good to be successful in the long term? To have a short term goals or to have long term goals or same goal forever consistently or maybe leveling up a little by little.
I think at any point you should know what your short-term goals are, what your long-term goals are. But as you get to certain achievements in your goals, it is also important to keep improving or assessing those goals. So let's say now I set a goal that in the next 6 months, I want to create my own company. And in the next 5 years, I want to take that company to a certain revenue level. Maybe in 3 years, I've already reached that level. And then I decide to pivot the company into another direction, like a non-profit, maybe. I'm not sure. Again, this is just something off the top of my head. Right. So in 3 years, if I've reached that revenue level and I feel like the company has peaked in terms of revenue, maybe I'll start hiring differently to understand how I can target a different industry or a different service offering or something like that. So my point is, it is important to have short-term and long-term goals, but don't be chained by them. If you
Right.
feel
Mm-hmm.
like halfway through, if you feel like there's something that is better in the long term and there is a little bit of sacrifice needed right now, obviously you can do your research, you can talk to whoever you feel is knowledgeable in that situation. But I think it should be flexible, I would say.
Right. I agree to that because, in this era of AI, we can't plan as such because you never know, what is next or AI can do anything, I must say. There is a lot of uncertainty. Like in my area of this job, whatever I'm doing. And my goal is set that I want to do something in English only, but I can definitely not plan that how I'm going to take this up. If I see that there is some effect of AI on my job or whatsoever it is, I have to mold accordingly. I have to be flexible and dynamic in this area, right? If I see, whatever people are interested in, then we can change accordingly. We have to be creative in this case, right?
Yeah, true. But I feel one thing I would slightly disagree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think you can still set goals regardless of how the industry changes around you or what new tools are invented or at your disposal. Because if you have a certain goal, an invention of a tool, I mean, there are certain exceptions, obviously, but it cannot replace you. It can be a tool that you can use to accelerate your growth. It can be a tool that you can use to provide to your audience so they can learn from it, they can benefit from it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you should like, so what I heard was, I think what you said is, I can't do that much of planning because with AI, anything can change, right? No, but I feel like you should do planning and you should be happy every time something comes up, is because that will help you get there faster. I think personally,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there are a lot of websites nowadays that have AI support. So what you can do is you can, again, I don't know if this is a natural idea. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
thinking out loud. You
Mm-hmm.
can go to the website, you can sort of pay some sort of a subscription fee to access that AI and to let your audience or your community access it, and then just have weekly debates on certain topics. Like they don't have to be
Mm-hmm.
political. They can be about sports, they can be about any certain, random topic,
Mm-hmm.
where once they're done with that conversation for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, like a webinar, I think the AI can sort of scan all of your responses and sort of let you know that, hey, this is
Mm-hmm.
these are the points that you mentioned. These were
Mm-hmm.
factually incorrect. This sentence was grammatically incorrect. I think you should have elaborated this point more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever the suggestions are. So I feel like that will help your community feel more connected to you, because they
Mm-hmm.
feel like I am I have to give half an hour a week to, Sunita ma'am's channel. And like it'll also make them feel like, yes, there is something like an exam or like a test where I can test it and I'm getting
Yes.
actual
Mm-hmm.
response where I can get, because I'm sure you have like thousands of followers, so they can't all talk to you every week,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right, right,
And what
right.
happens on YouTube videos is it becomes a one-way communication. Obviously, the other way is the comment section, but that is not live. So I
Mm-hmm.
think this is one gap that can be bridged through AI, like
Right, right.
the scalability of the
Mm-hmm.
communication, I would say.
Right, definitely. That's a great idea. I'll take that. And I've already been using AI a lot, ChatGPT a lot for my learnings and then for my uh, classes as well. So there is a lot of learning from AI. One thing that is really irritating about AI is when put on your earphones and it suddenly shouts, when you turn that, when you ask it to read aloud any paragraph or so, then it
Okay.
suddenly shouts. You have never experienced that?
What app are you using?
Chat GPT?
I have never heard ChatGPT like say things out loud. It
No, no,
just
there is an option. If you want it to read any paragraph, then it
I
can
will
read for
check
you.
that out.
Right. So I sometimes do that to check pronunciations. But
Okay.
when you simply put your headphones on and then it suddenly shouts all of a sudden, that feels really irritating.
Unfortunately, I have not experienced that, but I will check it out. I'm curious.
Ah, right. It happens all of a sudden. Like if you'll be there to check that out, maybe it will not happen, but all of a sudden it happens. Right. It's a surprise.
I understand. Okay.
Okay.
So, sorry to be a little abrupt about this, but there is another session that I have at 6:30. So I'm gonna have
Yes,
to end
yes.
this call.
Yes.
This was a lovely conversation. I love that you're constantly asking questions, you're curious, your excitement is there, you feel the energy levels, right? I really like that. Uh, Hopefully, we'll
Likewise.
get to meet again. Do you have any questions before we leave?
I think I've asked many questions and it was really a very exciting session for me as well. I didn't expect you to be here, but I'm really happy about it that yes, I got to meet you.
Thank you so much. That is really sweet, and I don't think it's needed, but thank you so much.
Okay.
I will check out your channel and I will definitely comment on it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank
Take
you. Have
care.
a great week. Bye bye.
Bye.